The NFL world, where NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob, and welcome to the NFL Dream, where we're going to travel to Los Angeles, California, and talk about the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, going through who they re-signed, who they signed, everything, you could see what they were trying to accomplish. They re-signed Khalil Mack, 1 year deal, 1 year deal, $18 million. We will get into the Joey Bosa stuff later in the video, but they had to make a choice. Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. They chose Khalil Mack. Rashawn Slater received a big-time extension, 4-year deal, $114 million. We'll get into that a little bit later. Denzel Perryman was brought back on a 1-year deal. Troy Dye re-signed with the team. He had a 1-year contract. He was going to leave in free agency. The Chargers said, no, why don't you come back? Come back, and he did. He chose to come back. Mike Williams signed 1-year deal after being with both the Jets and Steelers last year. He ended up retiring. Like we've said before on this program, when you have a guy who's at his age, they don't. That's kind of at this point. Like guys retire and then they come back. It's just the way the game is. Bradley Bozeman resigned on a 1-year deal. I believe I'm pronouncing this name right. Tahiri Tart resigned on a 1-year deal as well. The new signings are Dante Jackson signed a 2-year deal. Najee Harris on a 1-year deal. Jalen Reagor, 1-year deal. He was brought back. Special teams depth. Tyler Conklin, Andre James both signed. Deshaun Phillips signed. He's going to bring you some much needed help in that defensive side of the ball. Deshaun Hand, they also brought in to help out against the run game. Najee Harris signed a 1-year contract. Nyheim Hines, who signed after not playing for the last couple years due to a very gruesome leg injury that he sustained in a skidoo accident, really. Benjamin St. Jude signed a 1-year deal with the team coming over from Washington. Undrafted free agents, Luke Grimm. He was a wide receiver. I think it's Ugale, maybe. I'm not 100% certain. He's a free agent quarterback. And also Garmon Rudolph. Those are the UDFAs that signed with the team. The draft picks, everyone knows about Omarion Hampton. The truth is, the Chargers had almost agreed to a deal with the Eagles to drop back from 22nd to 32nd because the Eagles wanted Jahad Campbell so badly. And they were going to do it. And then what happened was Omarion Hampton landed in their lap and they said, well, we need a running back to pair with Najee Harris. Omarion Hampton's right there. Let's go get him. And so they nixed the trade. Everyone knows about Omarion Hampton, and it's well-deserved. Trey Harris from Ole Miss was in the 2nd round. Jamari Caldwell was the defensive lineman from Oregon in the 3rd round. 4th round was edge rusher Kyle Kennard from South Carolina. Keandre Lambert Smith was drafted in the 5th round from Auburn. I think it's Orende. Might be Orende, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think it's Orende Gadze from Syracuse. He was in the 5th round as well with Lambert Smith. Branson Taylor, the offensive tackle from Pittsburgh, in the 6th round. R.J. Mickens also got drafted in the 6th round. He's from Clemson. And in the 7th round, at pick 256, I hope I'm pronouncing this name right, cornerback Chickwizzy Bridges from Florida. So they brought all this guy in, and you could see what their goal was. A pretty healthy balance. There were 2 wide receivers, a running back, a tight end, offensive lineman. But then they go defensive lineman, edge rusher, safety, corner. They are trying to fill this roster with a lot of players that they did lose. They ended up releasing Asante Samuel Jr. So there's pieces that you do not have that you have to replace, and that's something they were trying to do in both of this free agency and draft picks. And that's what you try and do anyway. It's just not always easy to get done. Now, in terms of the pieces that are left, Joey Bosa, that's obvious. We said this at the time. They could have only kept one. And Joey Bosa doesn't and hadn't produced to the level that he was expected to produce. That was the issue. Even though he's an older guy, is still producing at a very high level. So you're like, yeah, let's bring him back. So they did. They lost Nick Nemeth, who's a special teamer. He went to Houston. He helps out in special teams. He plays some defense snaps because of the injuries they sustained. They waived Jordan, I think it's Padilla, who signed a 3-year deal in last April. Or signed a deal in April. They brought in another Australian player to take his place. So, okay. The Australian player's name was, I think it's Tomas Yamin or Yasmin, I believe, but I'm trying to say it. It's not having my interpretation of how these names are said is not great always. They also, like we said, Troy Dye was returned. They also released J.J. Taylor, who not many people are going to know who J.J. Taylor is, but he was the backup running back for them, who was a key special teamer. Talking about the standings, this is a team that went 11-6. This is a Jim Harbaugh special thing that they do, which is they are able to take the team around them, mold it in a way, have a good season, then go and draft and sign free agents and build it in their image. And that's what they do. And that's what they do so well. Jim Harbaugh did that greatly at San Francisco. Then he went to Michigan. He did it. He did it before when he was at Stanford. He does it everywhere. Stanford with the 49ers, when he was in Michigan, now with the Chargers. This is a team that won 64% of their games. They went 5-3 at home, 6-3 on the road. They won the last 3 ball games. They made the playoffs. Now, we'll talk about the playoffs in a moment. This is a team that went 11-6. That's impressive from what it was a year before. This was a team that was underachieving, underperforming, and they brought Jim Harbaugh in, and it was an immediate impact, and that's important to have. Now, like I said, they didn't play well in the playoff game. They had a lot of problems. We'll get into it, but looking at their schedule, it's kind of a middling schedule. It's not great. It's not bad, but with the pieces they have lost in free agency and injuries, as we'll get into in a bit, there's a lot going on here. But if you look at the schedule, first game is against the Chiefs at home. They got to go at home. This game is on YouTube, remember. This is not on YouTube TV. This is on YouTube. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube or on Rumble, wherever you are, you will see this video. And I guarantee you have seen ads playing for the last couple days about this game between the Chiefs and the Chargers. I guarantee you will see it. It's my reasoning of still like, why don't we just put every game on YouTube as well? Why waste everybody's time? I don't know. Then what? Then they go on the road. They play that game on a Friday on September 5th. On September 15th, 10 days later, Monday Night Football against the Raiders in Las Vegas. That's in the 10 o'clock window because they're doing 2 games that night. Then they're home for Denver 6 days later. at the Giants, home for Washington, at Miami, home for Indianapolis, home for Minnesota, at Tennessee, home for Pittsburgh, at Jacksonville, bye week in week 12. That's a lot. That's a lot. But your bye week is in a good spot too. Then they come back, they play a division rival, they go home and play the Raiders on November 30th. Okay. Not ideal, but okay. You're all right with doing that. And then it's just a really tough stretch of the last 5 games. All of them are very tough. Home for Philadelphia, December 8th. At Kansas City. At Dallas. Home for Houston. At Denver. 2 of those games are in the extreme cold in December. You don't face the Chiefs December 1st. You face them December 14th. That's a very tough place to play. In the cold, in the wind, it's going to be tough. You get the Cowboys, and even though you play Houston at home, those are dome places. You're fine. But then to go at Denver in January, that's terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. And you're going to have to do it without the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL, and Rashawn Slater, who suffered a torn patella tendon. The guy's 26 years old, $114 million, $92 million guaranteed, and he tears his patella tendon, I think, 2 weeks after signing the deal. It's terrible. Now, you're not in disarray. Joe Alt, you drafted. He played left tackle in college. But you were not going to move Rashawn Slater. He's your left tackle. That was it. You're going to say, no, Joe Alt, go learn how to play right tackle. And he did. And it worked. He played unbelievable. He was awesome. So you have to admire that. You have to admire that. So they're going to move him back to left tackle because it's not an easy transition. If you're a left tackle, your right leg is on the line of scrimmage. Your left leg is further back, and then you're jabbing with your offhand, trying to keep him in line and make sure he gives a hint of what he wants to do so you can go and make the block. When you're on the right tackle side, it's the opposite. Your left leg is on the line of scrimmage. Your right leg's your off leg, and now you're using a different arm. You're using your other hand and your other jab and your other move. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of time. It's very hard to learn. Him to learn how to do it in such a short period of time and be so good at it is not easy. So they're going to have him move to left tackle and hopefully try to figure out this right tackle situation. If you remember, the Chiefs, when they drafted Josh Simmons this year, he was coming back from that patella tendon injury. Rashawn Slater has the same injury. So you have to think, okay, what's a likely timeline he can come back? And how good will he be when he comes back? Those are things he has to come back from and has to be able to handle, which is injuries are terrible mentally as they are physically. Because it's physically you can get over it. Mentally, it's very much more of a challenge. Looking at that schedule again and looking at what they did last year as they went 11-6, and looking at, okay, they got some wide receivers. They brought in Keenan. They signed Keenan Allen back after the Mike Williams injury, or the Mike Williams retiring. So they brought back Keenan Allen. You got to help this offense out a lot. And they did. Because Quentin Johnston ain't it at this point. We got to fix it. Looking at their record, seeing what they're seeing, you can think it might be better. But I'm going to go with a 12-5 record. Their record in 2025 will be 12-5. They'll be battling for the wild card spot, but I think they will be better in year 2 than they were in year 1, and that's a terrifying thing to think about. But let me know in the comments what you think the Los Angeles Chargers win total will be, and if it's just a dream or is it a nightmare. For NFL World, I'm Jacob Hubert, out.